Hey Ebro fans, this is Todd. So today my goal is to start making this 2000X Skeletor and make it a classics version. So this is what I'm trying to make. And so of course you got to start with some Skeletor figure. So this is the Skeletor figure I'm going to start with. Hold on, let me adjust this. So this is the Skeletor figure I'm going to start with. And if you take a look, let's see what we have to do different to get from one to the other. So first of all, if you take a look, the feet are completely different between these two. So we got to change out the feet. The shin guards are different. The wrists are different, and the armor is different, and of course the head's different. So we got a long ways to go to get from one to the other. So let's talk about parts, and then we'll go from there. So first thing is I ordered some new feet on eBay, and they kind of match the feet of this style right here. Now I could have probably cut these feet off and altered them and sanded them and made an indent to make but it's just easier just to buy them online, and so I did. You could also have used like the mutant's feet and altered them a little bit and painted them blue, which I did think about doing. So we got the feet. Now let's work our way up to the shins. So when it comes to shins, there's lots of different options. And at one time I was going to go with these legs right here for the shins. So I'm going to use other parts of this figure already. But in retrospect, I was thinking these ones are pretty 2000X, but they're just so green. I know I could paint them purple. I started thinking, it'd be kind of cool to go with something like this. Now these ones normally belong to that character that's furry. I'm trying to think of his name now. Is it Count? Or Lord? Oh, Chief. I don't know his name off the top of my head. Anyway, he's one of the Masters fringe characters, 2000X, and it has a purple stripe already. So I was thinking two ways I can go. One, I can keep them gold, which is kind of cool, or I could paint like a clear gold or a clear purple over the top of it so it still has the sheen of the gold. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go, but there we go. So we got the feet, we got the shins. Now, next is the loincloth. Is there different? So I'm going to actually take the loincloth from this figure right here to use. But the problem is it's going to be way too small for that waist. Now if I try to stuff this loincloth over that one like you seen me do in the past, we'll end up with this bump being in the way. So I have this secondary loincloth right here I'm going to use. So I'm going to switch out Skeletor's loincloth and put this one in its place, and then put this one over it and stretch it over the top of it. So there we go. Next is the armor. Now I could try to stretch this armor over the top of Skeletor, but it just is such a huge difference in size. You can see that. It just looks ridiculous. Let's go ahead and try it so you can see how it looks. So let's pull this off. Okay, there we go. Let's get this armor off. Of course, this head doesn't come off, so we have to pull it off like this. And if you go to put it on, at first it doesn't look too bad. There we go. Pop that in place. But then when you go to try to strap the back up, it's just even tighter than He-Man's armor is to 2000X, which you can kind of make work. But because the Skeletor body's so much skinnier on the 2000X, by the time you get this on and stretched into place, it's just way too small. You can kind of see how small the symbols are on there. It just starts to look, and it also splits across the top when you start doing this. So you end up with it split across the top, and it's just stretched to ridiculousness to make it fit on there correctly. And it also sits crooked because if you take a look, the 2000X Skeletor body is actually crooked, and the armor is made to fit that way with its crookedness. So even if you were to get it to fit on there, it would still look crooked. And so we're not going to use this armor, which would be cool if we could just find this armor in a bigger size. But they don't actually make this armor in a bigger size, but they do have one very close. And that is the armor off of him. It's a very close 2000X. It's got the same paint patterns. It's got the black. It's got the silver. It's got the red dot in the middle. So that's the armor we're going to use for our 2000X Skeletor. So we're going to use him as well. Now for the forearms. So the forearms, it's going to be kind of tricky, is I'm going to actually still use these forearms right here, but I'm going to cut these off, slice the arm right there, Dremel out the center, heat them to a superheated state, and then stretch them out with my tool and then slide them on over the top, and that will give us the forearms we want to match the 2000X. He'll still have the fins on the back because the forearms are quite a bit shorter than that, and it should just fit about right about there. It will look really cool once it's done. So that will be the forearms, and the last thing we have to do is the head. Now to do the head correctly, I figured this head was probably the closest to the 2000X head. So you take a look at that, and that's probably the closest head, but he doesn't have a hood. So I was going to try some various hoods, and the first hood that I thought about trying was the one from the laser light He-Man hoods, but it was just so big and bulky, it just looked kind of crazy. And then I realized this guy has a nice hood, just the wrong color. So I'm going to paint this hood purple, and then of course we'll use that hood on top of this head. So I'll have to pull this off. Now it's just a face on the hood, so I have to pull the face out, Dremel it out all around there, so the skull will fit on there, and the skull will actually be what's keeping the head in place. And then we'll just put this hood over the top of that skull, and then we'll have a nice 2000X hood that looks very similar to the 2000X hood. It's just the wrong color. I think that'll be great, and that will help match it up, and then I'll have my 2000X head. So those are all the parts I'm going to use and how it's going to go together once we're all done. And I think that's it. Okay, if you guys see other parts that I'm missing, let me know. I am going to use Skeletor's cape as well on him, because I want to put a cape on him. And then, of course, I'll use this old 2000X staff for his staff. You don't need to recreate that. And that's it. And in case things go wrong, I got spare parts. So in case things go wrong and I break some of these wrist cuffs, I got this figure here for spare parts for his loincloth or his wrist cuffs. So if things go wrong, I do have this figure. Hey! And we're going to use his parts if we need to. All right. So leave your comments. Let me know. I'm going to start putting this figure together today. I won't be posting the video for a while, but I am going to start doing all the painting and pre-work ahead of time and popping off parts and painting them and getting them all ready. I will tape all the stuff I'm doing so you guys will see it in the future. But let me know what you think, or if you think I should use different parts, post below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and as always, subscribe, tell your friends, and hopefully we'll have a cool 2000X Skeletor when we're all done. All right, you guys. Thanks again, and I will see you next video. So I get those parts all in there. There they are. There's all the parts I'm going to use. And hopefully it all goes together well. The only thing I'm worried about is those wrist cuffs. I'm afraid they might not stretch as far as I need them to stretch, but we'll see. All right, you guys. Thanks again for watching. Bye now.